It's time for another episode of the Josh Cast. It's interesting, I was in the shower this morning, because I do shower, America, and I was thinking about, I was being frustrated, as usual, and wallowing in self-pity, the perfect way to start a Monday, and I kept thinking, well, all right, am I doing what I'm really passionate about doing? Like, for instance, if this was the last ever podcast that I would do, what would I want to do on it? And the first thought that crossed my mind was, well, to find a way to be funny through authenticity and intelligence. And not to, for instance, be at least too silly. So, interesting that I have this thing against silliness. I mean, I'm not against silliness. But I guess what I'm looking for is a little less of the... Like in Shakespeare, you've got the fools and you've got the clowns. The clowns are silly. The fools are finding humor through, pointing out the flaws of the king. And I guess I want to live more in the fool realm, although I don't do anything political because I'm terrified. But, more in that view. Maybe I should do something political. Ah, yes. Maybe I just uncovered something. Maybe I just uncovered something. Because I remember that phrase, do what you fear, watch it disappear. Yeah, I am afraid of saying anything overtly political because I want to be liked. Interesting discovery. That's not where I anticipated this podcast was going to go today. Well, then let's go there. I'm registered as a Democrat, but I'm not that happy about it. I don't like labels. I don't like registering as anything. Because I refuse to believe that anybody is right. And even if they are right, they're not always right. So I don't trust either of them. And then you've got people saying, well, they're really, they're two sides of the same corrupt coin, which, okay, proof even more that I don't want to align myself with either one. But I also don't want to call myself an independent because I'm not. I'm barely independent. I'm pretty dependent on these people. Like, I would call myself an independent if I had the resources to build an island fortress in the middle of the ocean. Like, a Bond villain is independent. I am just, disgruntled, but still very much, cowering in the shower. I don't know what the political term for that is. I don't know if there's a political party for that. I wouldn't even call it a party. It would be more of a gathering, really a support group, I think. I think if anything, I'm a Trekkie. Like, when I look at the world in Star Trek, I'm like, that's the world I think we should have, which is we all live together in harmony. And there's no hunger, there's no starvation, there's no poverty. They're never clear on exactly what kind of economic system it is. Many friends of mine who watch the show would describe it as a sort of socialism. But they're kind of vague about it because they don't have money in the realm of Star Trek. And that people's goals are to better themselves, not to make money. Which is a very interesting philosophy, actually. Because, here's my question. If everybody let go of trying to make money and just focused on bettering themselves, would we be okay, or would society collapse? I'm going to go with either way. Society is going to collapse. That's my theory. Actually, I was listening to the Rogan podcast, and he had an economist who was saying that all economic systems eventually fall apart. So that economist should date my mother. Boy, would they be on the same wavelength. Spend 2 hours talking about how they think the world's going to end. Traffic is surprisingly light today. We're coming up on 9 a.m. What am I, a radio disc jockey here? But I think that's the direction we need to get to. Now, that's very, very idealistic. I will give you that. But I guess my view is what steps need to be taken now to get to that place. I'm also going to go out and say I'm pro-choice. And I'm, I guess on the social things, on the social issues, I'm pretty liberal. Pro-choice. I don't know what the heck to do about guns. This is a tricky one. I mean, at the very least, I think the assault weapons need to be curbed. Not sure we need, Gatling guns out there for sale at Walmart. Batman can get his supplies out. Well, Batman doesn't use guns. Except on the cars. He has machine guns on the cars. That is weird. He swears off guns, but he's got machine guns on the cars. That's an interesting conundrum. I can kill... It's not me killing 50 people, it's the car. That's a little bit of bat hypocrisy. Now, in the economics, I don't know, honestly, where to lie, where to go. Because, on the one hand, you've got this notion that if we all chip in and pay a little bit, we can help everybody get health care. But the supposed problems with this are, well, you've got the government running health care, and the government is not very good at running a business. And so you end up with questionable health care. And the other side of the coin says free, no government interference, no taxes, free market economy. And if we really adhere to that at a militaristic level, basically, or a strict level, then somehow everyone would be okay. And which one is which? Which one is better? I don't know. My question is, why does it have to be fixed? Why does it have to be all or nothing? And that maybe there are times where we have to go more towards socialism to get through the day, and then there are times where we need to move more towards a free market, based on what is actually happening in the moment. Buddhism. That's my political philosophy. Which is the one question I feel like no one is asking. I believe in this system of economy. I believe in this system of economy. Excuse me, are there people dying on the streets right now? Yes. Well, let's perhaps handle that. Now, it's easy for me to say that. I walk by homeless people all the time and I don't do anything about it. So I'm not trying to criticize anyone either. That's the other big thing too. I want to move away from criticizing anyone who disagrees with me, because I don't think that accomplishes anything. I think the mudslinging and the calling each other names doesn't seem to really help. It seems to be making everything worse, just as a casual observer, as a member of the codependent party. Maybe that's what I would call it. I'm a codependent. I'm not an independent. I'm a codependent. Now I got to pause this intense conversation to talk about. I just saw a Honda pass because I have a vested interest in Hondas. I like to know what's going on with the Hondas. When there's a new Honda model that comes out, I'd like to take a look and put in my 2 cents. And I think the name of this new Honda is a Honda Clarity. Clarity. It's an interesting name for a car. The Honda Clarity. That's definitely not a muscle car. That's a thinking car. That's a thinking man's car. Yes, I'm driving the new Honda Perspicacity. Is that really called Clarity? Yes, it is. The Honda Clarity. It must be, is that their, oh, it's a plug-in hybrid. Okay. Well, I didn't know that until I drove past it and it said plug-in hybrid. And I gotta say, for a car that's called Clarity, I should know that before having to read the fine print on it. Not very clear. Good, I'm glad I got that observation out of the way. Back to saving the world. I think that, hating on anyone, no matter how bad they are, or no matter how wrong they may be, I think throwing hate at them is not the way to fix things. And by throwing hate, what do I mean by that? I mean, by criticism that is out of outrage. I don't support Trump. I don't like a lot of what he. I don't agree with a lot of his policies. But by the same token, I don't think that people who do support Trump are wrong or bad people. Now, there's the issue of racism, and what I keep hearing, well, Trump is a racist, and anyone who supports Trump is a racist, which is a lot of what's being bandied about right now. I think Trump says things that racists can latch onto that can become hurtful. I don't know if he is a racist because I can't get inside his brain. Would rather not get inside his brain, to be honest with you. But I also know that there's a lot of people who voted for Trump or who support Trump who are not racist. So to just label them all as racists is not accurate and it's not fair. But I see the dilemma on the other side, which is, how do you stand by when it seems or when it feels as if things that are being said in this administration are appealing to racists and are fanning the flames of racism and are empowering the people who are racist? How do you say nothing? And if what is being said is inflaming and empowering them, do we not have a responsibility for that? And I think we do. I think that, their responsibility has to be taken. But responsibility has to be taken on all angles, because every side has an extremist element to it. America has extremists. Christians have extremists. Jews have extremists. Muslims have extremists. And so if I'm accusing your side of having extremists and you're fanning their flames, well, chances are there's something I'm saying that's fanning the flames of the extremists on my side. So it seems like one way or another, no matter what, if I accuse you of something, there's a degree of hypocrisy, there's a degree of venom to it, and it ends up driving us farther apart. And what I'm interested in is, how can we come together? And I think the way to bring us together is for people on both sides of the aisle to have sex with me. Because then we can start there in terms of finding agreement. And that both sides of the aisle will say, yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. He does not have any technique whatsoever. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Can you go to a gym, once a week at least? For God's sake. It's all about the love, man. It's all about the love. I think we have to love each other. But here's my thing. I really do. I want to love all people, and I want to accept all people. And I don't want to, I want to love all people. In an ideal world, I'm a huge Gandhi fan. I want to even be able to love my enemies. Or love the people who are on the opposite side as I am, and treat them as friends, no matter what they do to me. I really want to be able to get to that plane. But I also don't want to talk to most of those people either. And on top of that, I don't want to talk to most of the people who are on my side either. I want to love, but from a remote distance. And with minimal to zero interaction. That's what I want. I want to be on a long-distance relationship, in an open relationship with the human race. That is what I want. I think we really solved a lot of problems today.